Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Meng's latest release. This is the 1/35th scale Panther A, or the early type. Again, looking fantastic in the actual winter camo. Again, Meng, sort of legendary for their armour. I must admit, I really do like the way they do their stuff. So it'd be interesting to see this one because I'm actually planning on having this as a full video build in the future. Anyway, as you can see down there, nice bit of box art on the front in the winter. Again, we've got it in the normal camo as well. And then obviously you've got your kit number for this one is TS046. And then again, the really worn down winter camo as well, which is actually inspiration for me to actually do it in that type of weathering effect as well. So the box itself is absolutely rammed. Again, we all seem to be getting these things these days. As you can see, you are greeted by the tracks, which, yeah, this is one of those things. We were talking about this on a show. A classic example of what I would describe as a full working nightmare, because you've actually got to build each part of that track up. You've even got the guiders in the middle as well to go in those ones. So they are a little bit of a nightmare. Got the wheels. Being the early type as well, we've got actually a rubber on the wheels with those ones, and again you can see down here some of the torsion bar suspension system, various things in there. Again, we've got some of the other parts down in there with some of the tools and equipment, which is fair enough. We've got the end plate, we've got some of the wood bits down in here, got the hull, we've got polycaps, we've actually got the main hull itself, the drive sprockets, things like that. And again, we've got this thing for making up the turret. Very detailed, but we do have a one-piece barrel. More wheels. So again, got those down in there. Guns, so different types of guns and mantles and various parts in here. So we've got multiple parts in. As we know, they do other versions of the Panther. That's really heavy. A lot of photo etch. That's actually quite heavy, all of that lot. We've got a braided cable as well for towing. Some of the clear parts for the cupola, things like that. And then, as always, we are greeted by the little info cards and the manual. So let's have a look in here to start with. Okay, so pop that down there. As always, we got the sort of info card which talks about the different versions and the different variants actually on these ones. You just need to find the bit that's in English. So there we go, that's down in there, and it talks about those ones, and we got another little bit down in there. So that's the showing you the differences between the versions, which is quite nice. Okay, so you can keep your info cards for your references. I'll just flip that, let's pop it out of the way. And then we've got the instructions. So really nice. Obviously we've got 4 different versions down in here, so just keep an eye out for when it is calling out for different ones into this one. The instructions are actually quite small, if I'm honest. The writing's quite small on this as well. So again, starting off with the wheels again, so obviously we've got the rubber on these, aren't just the steel wheels as well, so a little bit of forethought about how you're going to paint those and do that one. Drive sprockets, things like that down in there, and then we're making up the actual hull itself. So working on the lower hull, putting that together. All right, and then obviously we've got the end plates and then the drives, various things being fitted down in this one. It doesn't look like we get sort of full length torsion bar suspension, so we've actually just got these ones down in here as well for the actual arms being fitted onto this one. Then all of those wheels going on and drive sprockets, various things, and then you're adding up all the detail, as you can see down in here, for the towing hook, things like that down the back. Working on the top of the actual hull for the upper hull, so we've actually got the actual doors and various parts being fitted onto that one. Then we've got this sort of under skirt being put in there with opening up all the holes depending on which versions you're doing. So close attention to that one and work that one out for yourself as you go through those. And then obviously we've got the driver's hatch, lights, things like that being fitted, and all the tools, lumps and bumps and equipment, as you can imagine, are going to be going onto the outside of this one. Again, so lots of stuff. Nice bit of photo etch as well for obviously the actual grills and various things being fitted down onto there. We've got the side parts being fitted on for the actual external armour going onto this one. And then top meets bottom as it goes through, and then again we've got towing eyes, various things being fitted down in here. Lovely little bits of detail being added to this one, and then extra links and spares and things like that, and towing equipment, various things going up on the side. Again, lots of stowage equipment being fitted onto the outside of the tank, as you imagine. Towing cables being fitted on, and then we got these as well, and these are photo etch as well, which is really nice for the armour on the side. So if you did want to ding it up and the usual bits and pieces, you've got all of that as well. And then obviously we've got some of the more equipment going to the outside of it before turning your attention up there. So we've got the actual, for the turret, the loader's hatch being fitted through there, and then making up obviously all the sections onto the actual framework onto this one. It's a different way that Meng do it to other companies, and it is quite nice because it gives you that sort of nice plated on effect and various things. So that's though going through, and then say the gun being fitted, one piece gun, which is quite nice. So you just got to actually put the breech down onto there, and then obviously we've got the actual areas on the end for the actual barrel. MG42 being fitted on the outside as well, being fitted down into there, and all the parts going on, and then it just fits down onto the top. So although this has got a million parts, actually it's not too bad. You know, actually going together, we're okay on this one. Very faint. I don't know why this is so faint, and also, to be honest, I don't know why it's so small. I haven't seen one this small. It looks like it's very, very thin paper as well that they're using on the instructions. Anyway, painting one, I love this effect. This worn through look to the actual camo work and everything else like that, absolutely gorgeous. Or you've got the standard one down in here, and again, different types of markings with these ones. And then obviously we've got this more sort of standard one, 3-tone camo on the outside there. Again, really, really very nice detail on that one. So, in the little bags, as you can see down in here, we've got the clear parts. There's not really a lot of point looking at those ones. That's pretty standard type stuff. But we will definitely have a quick look in here. So if we just grab my knife. Down in here, we've got photo etch, as you can see, for the actual main parts of this one, so it doesn't glare out the camera. You can see some really nice details down in there with the actual grills, and you can see right the way through them, so that's very, very nice indeed. We've got an extra one just down in here as well, very nice, as you can see. And then we've got that side armour, again really nice because you can ding this and sort of bend it around and various things, gives you the option. All right, so that's good as well. We have got these which are actually braided cable, so we've got two of these for the towing cables. They're not the best, they need sort of, you know, sort of retwisted and various things in there, but it is cable and it is braided, so it does give you that type of effect. And obviously the decals, just a handful just down in here for the markings, with that nice sort of hand painted on look to them, as well as normal sort of stencil ones as well. So very nice job with all of those. Let me just pop these in here to keep them safe. Let's get that in there. There we go. That's those all tucked back. Right, so where do we want to start? Let's start with the main hull. Here we go. So in here we're staples. Meng do love their staples. Me, not so. They're a right pain to get out without cutting your hands apart. Okay, so funny colour. You know, it's this lighter colour which actually makes it look a little bit, you know, icky. But generally, I must admit, very, very nicely done. No problem at all. But when you get into the details of it, as you can see, all the details are right there. We've got all the parts on the side. Got this nice sort of cast texture, the various parts, as you can imagine. And then down here for the sort of drive system, again. I don't think the actual colour of the plastic's doing it any favours, if we're honest, but it does give you that a good look at the details into this one. You can see lots of details going down underneath here as you're going to be building it up, putting those T sections in there across there to make up the hull and things like that. So pretty straightforward. Where's the other bits of it? I'm just trying to do this in some semblance of order. Again, I can't be hanging around, so we'll just cut our way in. So you can say sprue B, very nice again, good, clean. All the sprue tabs really tight, very, very small where they need to be, bigger where they don't. Seem to be tucked out of the way or in quite nice areas as well. No sign of flash, no sign of sink marks as always. So again, some of the stowage equipment and various parts for the sides. We're assuming this is a little area for making up the tracks. And again, really nice job all the way through. And again, on the blind side, very, very nice indeed. That's pretty good. Right, top part of the hull. And we've got some poly caps down in here. So we've got some more down in there. I'll keep these safe out of the way. So again, top of the hull looking very nice. We've got the side parts, all the rest of it good, clean, sharp details. As you can see on these, it's all there. Again, I think really it's just the colour of this plastic isn't showing it off to its best. But by the time obviously you get some primer on this, it'll be back looking really nice. But it looks like all the details are good, clean, crisp, sharp, which means they're going to take weathering, dry brushing, all these things. But they actually are pretty sharp to the touch. And I always think that's a good sign. If it's sharp, it's good, crispy edges, things like that. Very well cast. So again, same way on this one and on the bounce side. Very nice. Okay, further down into this. As I say, there's different mantles for different versions, things like that, as you can see down in here, but generally really nice details right the way across this. So again, there's the different mantles on there. The different versions down underneath. Stowage items, things like that. Looking very good. Yeah, what's not to love? Very difficult to see though in this colour, but it's all here. Typical Meng, good, clean, crisp. Even the ejector pins are either pretty much shallow or they're just slightly got some edges on there just to rub off, but generally very, very nice indeed. Okay, so all the details on the side. As you can see, it looks pretty darn good, doesn't it, all the way through. This wood effect is actually really very, very nice as well. So we've got some of the equipment, we've got a pole there on the side, we've got the exhaust running up there. Some of these areas I take it we don't use, so this must be a standard type of thing, because obviously it doesn't have a bow gun on the A version, as this one is, the early one. So again, there's various bits on here I think are generic to all the different Panther families. So again, really very nice detail on all of those. Again, speaking of which, we've got different gun mantles and various things. As you can see down in here, we've got that breech down the back. So again, just being mindful and making sure you know which parts you're using, which ones you're not. Always have a good look through your instructions before you get going with this one. We've got the guns there, we've got hatch covers, all the small parts, looking very, very nice. But again, I think the thing that sticks out with all of their kits is always their good, clean, sharp kits. Very, very nicely done. Okay, so down in here we've got some wheels, we've got a match pair, so I think we need to look at both of these, but as you can see, looks pretty darn good. All of that's pretty good, but the wheel details, very nice. Towing eyes, drive sprockets, exhausts, all the little hatch, little hooks. So obviously the armour will actually just hook onto here. You don't even have to glue it. It will literally just hook in. Very nice indeed. And okay, speaking of the wheels and all the bits and pieces, so again, another match pair in here. Different sets of wheels, various things going on sprue F down in here. So again, I don't know if these are the steel ones or the older types of wheels, but we've got lots of wheels, as you might imagine, right the way through. But down in here we've got the various parts making up the hull sections, the T sections as I call them, but probably more like Fs, down in there. All the various standard components right the way through. As you can see, there's those torsion bar suspension system. So it's not an active one, it's not all the way through, but it's just on the edges. Very nice. Looks like we've got a tiny little bit of flash on these. So just first little bit of flash I've actually seen down in there, but again, it's only a swipe with a knife to get rid of them. Okay, and the elephant in the room with all armour is the typical thing. How much detail do you really need in tracks? So how much do you really want to put it together? So actually what you've got is a situation with these little guys. They're all got to be fitted down into here. It's not the worst one we've ever seen, and at least it is standard steel tracks and all the rest of it, but you say you have got to build all of these little guys up, which is one thing we didn't see too much in the instructions. Just going to pop back and have a look for it. Right, okay, so there it is. that's that section. So you've got the two horns being fitted down up in here, and again you've got this little one for working out your sags and your various things, so you have got it in there, and then you've got the pads to go in afterwards. So you've got to put two of these into each one, and then these into them as well. So there is lots of them. Does it say how many? 87 for each side. So yeah, it's one of those things when you're dealing with armour, how far you're going to be going with it. Maybe you want to use aftermarket tracks. Obviously there's metal ones available out there, give you natural sag and various things. To be honest, because you've got the side armour, you're not going to see it as much, but it's a great way of giving realism, because obviously you can use burnishing fluids and things like that. And even now, nicely, there's even companies that will put the tracks even together for you, so they turn up ready made, ready to go, and off you go with it like that. So again, it's just one of these areas, depends which way you want to do. You want to put the time in, no problem at all, you can do it that way, or you can go aftermarket and have a nice set of tracks delivered to your door, pre-built, ready to go, all ready for burnishing and weathering and going along like that. Anyway, there we have it. Just have to say there is an aftermarket set available for this one, which is SPS077, which is basically a decal system to put the Zimmer on with it. To be honest, I dropped the ball. I forgot to order it when I ordered the kit. Otherwise, I'd be showing you it now. But again, it's something I'll probably get in and we'll have a go with it as well. So have a look out for that one a little bit later. But if you are planning on doing the Zimmer, obviously you can do it yourself. But because this is the checker version, as I call it, it's just a grid. Buying that one is probably going to be a quicker and easier way of doing it. If it was going to be the normal sort of wave pattern, as I call them, where it's been put on by hand like that, I'd probably do it myself. But you could do it yourself and say a little bit of putty over it and just, you know, put the lines in there. It's got that real organic, natural look as it would be, rather than being a little bit universal if you buy them in and things like that. Anyway, that is Meng's lovely 1/35 scale early Panther. So this is the A version. So again, we haven't seen too many of these around. So it's really nice to see that Meng have come along with this kit.